Controlling your emotions to increase productivity. Hi, my friends. This is Clint Stitzer coming to you from our new office. It's a mess. It's not quite yet done, but I'm excited to be sharing this information with you. Hey, last week we talked about the steps to control the chaos. We talked about the routines and systems to put in place to really continue to thrive through a busy selling season and also have some control of your life. And one of the things I mentioned was controlling your emotions. And it's a lot easier said than done. So today I want to share some steps to help you stay in control of your emotions. Because we all know an agent, whether it's you or maybe someone you work with, that gets caught up in a negotiation where there is maybe a misunderstanding between your client and you, or a misunderstanding between you and the other agent. Somehow, some way in this emotional business, we get crossed up. And the last thing that we want to do is lose all of our time and all of our emotional energy and all of our capacity to getting caught up into this feeling frustrated, or to get caught up in just the emotional overwhelm intensity of the situation as opposed to being factual, pragmatic, and execute at a high level. So today I'm going to give you a tool to help you pull yourself out of a situation that maybe you're getting overly involved in, to choose your emotions. Note I say choose your emotions, not control, and go from there. So here we go. The first thing to note is that I use the word choose rather than control, because an emotion is a response to a feeling. We can't control how our internal being is going to feel about a situation, but we can choose the emotion that we assign to that feeling. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you today is a journal. Basically, it's just a series of questions that allows you to be very systematic about evaluating the situation, changing your paradigm about the problem or the situation at hand, choosing the emotion that's going to be most effective, and framing your mind in a way that you can push through and continue to be productive. Okay, so here we go. Guys, these questions are going to be available on the blog. I'm also going to share a little graphic that gives you a full wheel of feelings. Okay, I know this is kind of crazy to think about, but the more that you can be in touch in how a situation makes you feel, and then what the story is that you're telling yourself created that, and then how you can reframe that and put yourself into a position of power moving forward, the more control you're going to have, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so I know this might be a little bit woo, but I'm telling you, this is an incredible tool for your productivity and your happiness. All right, here we go. So here are the questions. Number one, we just got to give it a title. So we're calling it a journal. Give yourself a title. Number two, what and who has triggered you to feel this way, right? Very simply, what's the situation or who's the person? What has occurred to feel this way? And we're going to put a label on it. Why? Because I want you to be clear in assigning where you're placing the blame for this potential negative emotion or negative feeling, or where you're sourcing it from. Okay. The next question is what is the story you're telling yourself right now about what happened? Look, let's be honest. We are all telling ourselves stories that lead up to a certain belief or rooted emotion about a situation. So it's important for you to be honest about the story and just get it all out, right? The act of writing out the story of what's feeding into a scenario that's got you worked up is going to help you totally flush out, and maybe, just maybe, you might see some paradigms and beliefs that you've created to anchor in your position. Okay, so we're going to ask you to identify what is the story you're telling yourself. Okay, the next question is, what are the negative feelings you're experiencing because of this story? Now I'm going to share with you a graphic that gives you a full list of feelings that exist to help you get clear. Look, for the women watching this, probably not that difficult for you to identify your feelings. For the men watching this, like, hey, we know two emotions, right? Or feelings. It's like happy or mad. Okay, there's actually a broad range of feelings that the more you understand that, the more that then you can use that feeling to choose the correct emotion and fuel your progression, as opposed to letting the feeling create an emotion that you did not choose and then allowing that to control you. Okay, so it's important that we understand what the negative feelings are and we give it a name, we give it a word, we anchor that. Okay, then the next question in the journal is, hey, what initial desires or actions do you notice rise for you with these feelings? Okay. Here's a great example. What's the story telling yourself? This agent said that they would do this, this, and this, and this, and their clients do this, and this, and this, so I told my clients that we do this, and this, and now they're not doing it, and that agent's a liar, and the initial desires or feelings I have is that I want to get on the phone and scream at that other agent. Blah, blah. Okay. That is the initial desire or action. What are these feelings? What's this story? What's the combination of the person, the situation, the story, and the feelings making you want to do? Just flush it out. Get it out. You'll notice when you go through this, there's a purpose. Okay. The next question we're going to ask is, what are the facts without feelings about the situation? Okay. Now let's remove the story, the roots, the people, and let's just lay out the facts. All right. This is going to help you gain clarity and shift your perspective and paradigm. Okay. The next question beyond the trigger, like, what do you truly want? Most people get so rooted into a situation they begin arguing and fighting without even really knowing why they're arguing or fighting. So before you get into this whole thing where you allow a situation to control you, it's really important to take a step back and say, what do I want from this situation? Or what do my clients want from this situation, right? So let's step back and get strategic on what we actually want to have occur before we just get wound up to wasting emotional energy on something without even knowing where we want to go. Okay, the next question is, what is a more strategic story that you could create to ensure you get what you want? Right? So we started with the first story, the story you're telling yourself. Then we asked you to root your feeling. Then we said, what do you want to do because of this mixed feeling and story? Then we listed the facts. What are the actual facts? What do you want to achieve here? Okay, now that we know the facts, what you want to achieve in your old story, what's a new story that you could tell yourself, that you could begin to program your mind, that's going to get you what you want, knowing the facts, the people, your feelings, and what you want? Okay? It's a very powerful question when you take the time to think through it. Oftentimes we tell ourselves stories that exacerbate the problem rather than becoming part of the solution. Okay? Now, how does this new story make you feel? Cool. So we've created a new way of looking at this. We've created a new dialogue. How does this dialogue make you feel? If it doesn't make you feel good, if it doesn't make you feel positive there's a resolution, revisit the story again. Okay? Your new story, that is. And the next question is, what evidence do you have that proves this alternate story is true? Look, you may not make up, but you may choose a different way to look at things, and you may have to access prior experience to say, yeah, I can look at it this way because I have had experience in addressing a similar situation like this, or pull from the facts. Okay? But what we're doing is we're anchoring in this reality of this new paradigm, this possibility. All right? Will this new story give you what you want? Just confirming. We've told a new paradigm, new way of looking at things. We've anchored in the factors that make it true. Now we're confirming. Will this give us what we want? If not, go back and create a new story, a new paradigm, a new way of looking at things. Now that you're clear on what you want and you're using a new story to get you there, what insight or revelation are you leaving this journal with? You'll be amazed is when you give yourself the time to step back, evaluate the situation, and process on your thoughts, the revelations that will come from within. It's really, really healing and it's really powerful. Again, the purpose of this video is to put you in a position to be able to choose your emotions and keep you on a path of production. It's very simple to say, hey, control your emotions, have thicker skin. Yeah, well, there's a little bit more to it than that. Okay? So this is a process to follow. And when you follow this process and you let your intuition come out and tell the truth, you're going to learn a lot of things about yourself and you're going to learn a lot of things about the world in general. So we want to document those revelations. Okay? Last thing is you sit back and evaluate these revelations and insight. What simple life lesson did you learn or become reminded of? I can't tell you how many times I've gone through a situation, struggled, gone through this process, pulled back and been like, oh yeah, I already knew this. I just forgot. I allowed the situation to control me rather than me control my approach to the situation. Okay, so this is a very important part of the process to help you stay cognizant of these principles that you've accumulated over your life that you just got to stay aware of and practicing. All right. And then the last step is, are there any specific actions you need to take as a result of this process? Right? Usually the answer is yes. You've gone through this process, and at the end of the day, there's going to be a core action that needs to be taken to move forward in a productive manner. Okay? So there you have it. Rather than just saying, hey, control your emotions, stay productive, crush through, here is a tool. It is a series of questions to allow you to go through the process of changing the way in which you're approaching, to choose to control your emotions, control your response to the situation, and truly be the professional that your clients rely upon to make a clear and educated decision. I know that I just covered a lot. This is a really deep topic, but hey, if you go through these questions, if you go through this process, I'm sure you'll figure it out and you'll experience great benefits from it. This is Clint Stitzer with Stitzer Properties. I sincerely appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, shoot me a call. Would love to engage. Bye-bye.